So I mentioned in my August cutting video that I had worked on some material for a friend of mine, and we recently got together and kind of divvied it up, and there's some stuff that I didn't care for, so I just did the cutting for him, but this was stuff that we kind of divided between ourselves, and I was willing to take some of it. So here's a piece of Brazilian agate. It's pretty solid, does have a crystal pocket in the middle, or not a crystal pocket, but some crystalline area. It'll still polish up nice. Here's another couple slabs of Brazilian agate. This one does have a crystal pocket right here, and since I'm a cabochon cutter, he said, well, see if you can make something with a crystal pocket in the middle. So those two came to me. Here's another piece of Brazilian. It's got a nice pattern to it. Here's an end cap of the same piece. Probably just polish it as an end piece, display piece. Then not quite sure where this is from. It's kind of I hate to use the term jasp agate, but it's a little mix of agate and jasper, and it had some nice pattern in it, so I went ahead and took a couple pieces of that. Now keep in mind, he probably got, this is like a 1/3, 2/3, so he got the majority of this stuff. Now this is Kerry plume, although not the best. You might call it Kerry moss, but you know, there's something in here that's usable. And then here's another other end of the stone. Again, this area right here. Yeah, so it's thick enough. There's a decent cab in there. This is kind of punky. And then I did get a slab that has lots of potential area in it as well. And that's from the Kerry Ranch. Here is another slice of Brazilian. Boy, it's so hot out here, these are already drying out. It's like already 90 degrees outside and 80 degrees in the garage. Anyway, that's got a nice central area that might make a decent cabochon. Now this initially doesn't look very good, but if you look down here on the corner and over on this corner, there's some areas that have definite potential. And I think he thought this was from the Leathers Ranch here in Oregon. And then I have another end cut here, which is actually pretty thick. And I might try putting that in the slab grabber because it's got the same couple areas that I might be able to get a couple more slabs off of. No idea what this is from. It's jasper. It's got lots of different pattern in it. So I went ahead and took a slab of it, but he kept the rest of it. This almost looks like marble. You can see there's a big crack running through the middle of it. But the pattern in here isn't too bad. It's kind of, sort of agate-y. Again, so still useful for a cabber. This piece is all Brazilian, and there were half a dozen slabs of it, so I took one as an end piece. Now notice the white line. That's in all of them, and I think it's a weak spot, potentially. Well, they don't feel it. It could be a weak spot and cause problems as I begin cutting. But I did take a couple slabs of it, plus the end cap, to see if I can cut some cabochons out of it. We'll see what happens. Same thing, here's another couple pieces of Brazilian. More potential cabochons. This one, unfortunately, has a bunch of fractures in it. And it was slightly too big for my saw, so a big chunk broke off in the end, but I can grind that off. And this will just be polished as a display piece. I won't try cutting it thinner because the slabs just kept breaking. In fact, here's the other end of it. I got a small piece that I'll just, you know, polish and give away to the kids, and then a couple of slabs that basically broke off, and so I took the end pieces because they could be cabochons, maybe, kind of, sort of. He had a large piece of Maury Mountain. Unfortunately, there's a big crack right here. I think you can see it. But this end cap, I could probably put back in the slab grabber and get another slab or two off of it. And it's, you know, it's pretty decent moss. Other than that crack, the rest of it's pretty solid. And then I did get a couple of smaller pieces that broke off elsewhere. Then here's a decent piece of Brazilian. Lots of translucency, good and solid, plenty of cabable material. This, I think, is Brazilian of a different style, but it's thick enough I could get a cab or two out of it. So, and it's got, you know, good banding, and it's blue. You know, blue's a hard color to find in nature. And then here's another piece that kept breaking. Now this is actually an amethyst pocket. So I thought it might be interesting to try and cut a cabochon out with an amethyst pocket. And then this is, again, relatively solid. So there's a cab in there as well. And then another slab, same thing. Actually a little bigger amethyst pocket there. So that has potential, and then again the other half is big enough that I could get a couple of cabs out of it, you know, maybe do a heart or something like that, or a bear claw type of thing. And then another piece of Brazilian that has decent pattern in it. I don't know if this will be polished as a display piece since it's nice and solid. And I got two of those, plus the end cap. So when I have groups of, you know, multiple slabs, imagine, you know, there's at least twice that many that we split. And then I'm kind of hiding this one on purpose. This one is also Brazilian, but look at that feature in the middle. And I measured it. There's a crack right up here, but this is well within the specifications of potentially being a competition cabochon, and I think that would make an amazing competition cabochon, because they can be up to 4 inches or 100 millimeter technically is the rule, and there's plenty of room in there for that. So at some point in the future, I will try to make that a competition cab. And technically, you know, I could go either side, but so that's also part of my August cuttings, but I couldn't show it until we had divvied up the material.